Alright, what is going on, everybody? I'm Tristan Folks, and today we are in St. Louis. You know, we're out here supporting the Blue Jays from Toronto, so I'm excited for that. They haven't been out here since opening day in 2023, so it's been a minute. So I'm excited to be out here. I'll be out here for all 3 games, so basically each day we'll show something a little different. This one, on day 1 of the series, I'll show a little of the outside of the stadium, and then day 2 and 3 we'll show it off a little different. Maybe try to get some baseballs. I got my first baseball here from Dalton Varsho in batting practice on opening day, so we'll see if we can get some more. Alright, so you know how like pretty much every city has an entertainment district. So right behind me we have Ballpark Village. So that's basically St. Louis entertainment district. Not gonna really stay here for long, but I'll just show you a little bit around what it looks like. And then we're gonna get to the stadium soon since it opens up in about 15 minutes. Just gonna show you around a little what the ballpark looks like. It's very not home run friendly, respectfully, very symmetrical in my opinion. So really just, we got Big Mac land. Apparently if a home run hits up there, everyone in that section or area ends up getting McDonald's, I think. There's the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays. Was it Barreros? He didn't have a good start to opening day, notably. He has a 2-2 record right now, so we'll see if he can do something good today, but we'll see. I'm 50-50 on it, so it'll probably be a high-scoring game for the Cardinals if he ain't on his A game. Addison Barker's been red hot so far here, and we got him on first base now. Alright, after 1, Toronto's up by 1 right now, just 1-0 after the first. They've got some hits, just only the 1 run, the show for it though, so better than, you know, having 0 runs, so far so good. We're going into the 3rd inning here. Toronto has got another run going into this inning. The sun is starting to set. Alright, we're halfway here. We're in the bottom of the 5th right now with St. Louis up 2 bad. It is still 2-0 Toronto. You can argue that Toronto has just gifted a home run right there with the bounce off the glove. Like said, that is not a home run you will see every day. I don't believe it was going out, but the one in the center field ended up ultimately knocking it for a home run. So interesting.
Well, you can say that I may or may not have got George Springer slacking here, so enjoy a little clip of him dancing.
You can say it's game on now. Wilson Contreras ended up helping St. Louis here get a run. It is currently 3-1 right now with 2 guys on base.
One of the pitchers for the Cardinals, named Ryan Helsley, has his own little intro, and he's going to look to close out the game.
So things have taken a twist suddenly. St. Louis ended up getting a 3-run homer, and they are suddenly in the lead 4-3 right now. So Toronto basically has to extend the game right here, or this one is over. Just like that, Toronto has ended up tying the game on a lifeline here. Home run went just right over me. Someone just ended up throwing the home run ball out. Also an update, the guy who threw the ball back on the field, the homer, has now been ejected from the game. The ushers just ended up grabbing him and took him away. Here we are in the bottom of the ninth here. St. Louis is looking to win this game here, so we'll see if they can do it, or do we go in extra innings. With the new rule, Addison Barker ends up starting at second base, hit from Kirk, and Toronto is up in this game again, 5-4. Every base is now loaded. We could see a grand slam here, but it was an intentional walk. We'll see. Here we are in the bottom of the 10th. We got St. Louis with their guy on second base, and they're at the top of the batting order here, so we'll see if they end up getting one here. Victor Scott's moving to third base, so they could have a chance to attempt to get a run here, but they have 2 outs right now. Alright, so that is game 1. Toronto ends up winning it in extra innings there. And you can say that Victor Scott Toronto home run, we'll call it, was the difference maker in this one, low-key. But very happy for Toronto to get a win on the board, and we got 2 more games, so we'll have to just see how they go. But we're gonna go lift some weights and then be back out here tomorrow. All right, welcome back for game 2 of this series between Toronto and St. Louis. We are back at Busch Stadium, as we all know and maybe love. So today we're gonna explore a little bit more. And then you can also watch the game all the way up there. That's like level 3. So I've learned a lot since living over here the past 2 years. So I just wanted to get a quick glance at everything. So that's really it. There's Alejandro Kirk, who ended up hitting that very awkward home run yesterday. He'll be doing his usual catching duties, so he's having an all-star season right now, so we'll see if we can carry it on for the rest of the series here.
Heading off again for the Blue Jays, number 11, short.
You can tell that from out here.
Yeah, but umpires don't know how to do that shit.
Andres Jimenez ends up hitting a 3-run homer to get Toronto on the board here.
3-0.
Looking very similar to how yesterday went, but a lot worse on the score sheet.
Anytime the ball, I don't care if they foul it up. Whatever the umpire tells them to do.
All right, we finished the first inning already. And Toronto's up 3-0 right now. Alan Rodon ends up getting a hit to send George Springer to home plate, so it is now 4-0 here. And just like that, St. Louis just ended up getting a 3-1 homer, and it is now 4-4 when it was 4-0 just moments ago. So, and the bleeding continues as St. Louis has a guy on first base. It is now a 4-4 game, and we are in the 5th, so pretty much just a brand new ball game if you want to put it at that. Just like at the start of the game, things are rolling from Toronto right now. The set just ran in to get a run, the 6th run. Toronto previously just got a run as well, so things are rolling all over again. All right, we're going into the 6th inning. It is 6-4 Toronto, so I would say it's still a long game. St. Louis has just changed their starting pitcher out, so we'll see how things roll. The all-star himself in the making, Alejandro Kirk, ends up getting another homer. Back-to-back homers. All right, we're in the top of the 8th right now. Toronto's extended their lead to make it 8-4. They're up the bat right now, and this is be 1 out right there. We've already seen a 4-run lead already blown, so, but I think things will be just okay. So let's keep rolling. Toronto ends up changing their pitcher, and immediately we see St. Louis get a 2-run homer. So we've seen this happen back-to-back now when the pitcher gets changed on both sides. And the bleeding's going to continue here. All right, we are in the 9th inning right now. Toronto is up to bat. It is 8-6 with Toronto leading, so hopefully you can get some runs in. If not, they need to have a clutch bottom of the 9th. And that usually goes on pitching, so we'll see what happens. I talked about it just about now that Toronto could use some runs here. They indeed get the runs. They get at least one right now from the Jet, but things are looking good and how I said they should be. The bleeding continues. Alejandro Kirk gets a run on base from a pitching error, so things are just getting worse and worse. All right, so it is now the bottom of the 9th right now. Toronto has extended it to 10-6, so as long as they don't let up 4 runs or more, they should have this one in the bag and improve their record over the Cardinals. Looking to once again, new pitcher change means home run, but the game may be over right here. And that is the ball game, and Toronto has won this one 10-9. The top of the 9th was the difference maker, so we'll be back out here tomorrow afternoon. We'll be out here tomorrow afternoon for game 3. Maybe we'll look for a bite to eat to show off what we can find around the ballpark. So, like I said, we'll be back out here tomorrow. This Canada soccer match is not looking great. It is 0-0, and it is just not fun to watch. So, that's all I'm going to say, and we will see you back tomorrow. Maybe even morning. It'll be morning actually, so we'll see you tomorrow morning. All right, and we are back in business for game 3 as Toronto's looking for a sweep today at Busch Stadium. People are outside. We'll see if Toronto can get it done. The weird thing is, out of their past month, they haven't even moved up in their division. I'm also very tired. I woke up maybe not even an hour ago. Maybe just an hour ago, so I feel a little dead. Brought the sunscreen today because the sun's going to be out the whole time, and it's really just clear skies.
I want you to win, but I can't give you the answer.
So we've got our second baseball from the catcher coach, Luis Serrato. So there you go. All right, and this one, we're gonna go walk through the concourses, show you what it's like, and maybe we'll get something to eat. Maybe. No guarantees, but possibly. So we'll see what we get into. Wait here to see how much is a churro. I'm gonna review, so $10 for that. Honestly, I think it was worth it, honestly. That's actually really big for two. Essentially, that's $5 for like one, which actually I'd accept that. And then the money, I think the value's good, sample's good. This chocolate was actually pretty good. I kind of liked it better plain, honestly, but overall, I'm actually a fan, and that was my first time having churros, so now I've accomplished that in my life. Since someone said I should accomplish that this year, so now I have. We're here. Gotta get game 3 underway. Alright, after the first inning, St. Louis took advantage of an error and Mason Wynn ended up getting a run on base after Contreras ended up hitting a single. So it is 1-0 St. Louis as we go into the second. Alright, so after 2 innings, St. Louis ends up getting their first home run of the game. Just a single run there, single homer. And it is 2-0 St. Louis, so slowly falling behind, at least. Better than being down by a lot, so things can change here, so we'll see what happens. Alright, we're going into the 4th inning here, and it is now a tied ball game. Toronto has managed to find 2 runs, which I've been predicting a lot of this fairly well. And we got a bunt, and is this gonna go anywhere? Oh, he gets a run. Miles Straw just bunted and just got a run on base, so Toronto's looking to be taking the lead here, as we'll likely see if they end up having another chance at bat here. And the bleeding continues for St. Louis as Toronto just hit a single homer here, meaning they will extend their lead right now. So there you have it. It continues. Alright, we're going into the 5th inning here, and Toronto has indeed taken the lead and held on to it. It is currently 4-2, and George Springer is going to send one out, and this one should be out. So 1 out. But things are better, and things are going as I've predicted so far. So pretty weird. Toronto's made their first pitching change of the day here. Mason Wynn is up to bat. Alright, we are moving into the 6th inning. Toronto has extended their lead just by 1. It is 5-2. They are up to bat right now, so we'll see if they can extend the bleeding, but I'm not sure this time around. Your future MLB All-Star, Alejandro Kirk, is now on first base. He has been on fire this series. Looks like we're gonna have a challenge here from Toronto to see if Clement ended up getting on second base, which would end up being the second stolen base of the day. We got another stolen base in this game, so that's what today has been. As this one is gonna end the inning. We are going into the final inning, the ninth inning, we'll call it, in case it goes to extra, because we've seen that. And Toronto's at the top of their batting order, so they're in a good situation so far. We'll see what happens with Chet and then Guerrero and then Kirk, so we'll see what they can do here, but they are still up by 3 runs. And then it'll just come up to clutch time at the end. All right, so the Cardinals have their official lifeline. They'll need 3 runs or more, essentially, to continue this game or even have a chance to win it. So we'll see what happens here. This is for the sweep here. 2 outs. And that's going to be the ball game.
My clip after the game ended up as a picture, so I just wanted to say here that I had an amazing time coming out to downtown St. Louis for this series between the Blue Jays and Cardinals. It was the best time I've had at baseball games, honestly. Game 1 had lots of drama from the sudden lead change, the tied game, and then the home run ball being thrown back out on the field, which led to people getting kicked out of my section for it, and then we saw extra innings. In Game 2, we saw a high-scoring game as we continued to see new pitchers, and it felt intense. And lastly, in Game 3, we saw Toronto come back from being behind 2 runs with 5 consecutive runs that earned the sweep before they headed off to Philadelphia to wrap up their long road trip. As mentioned, it was great to see Toronto win all 3, as well as myself get my second baseball and share what it's like at Busch Stadium. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you want to see me visit more ballparks in the future. As always, take care.